and just scroll down to where you last left off.
Well, here's the thing. Do they have subcategories between games? Do they have like role-playing, MMO for FPS, different kind of subcategories in games, different kind of subcategories in Office, different subcategories in all these categories?
I actually forget. That's
Not really.
No, they also need that, you know. You're getting a huge marketplace. You're going to need to start creating subcategories until, you know, you don't have 1,000 in each category. Keep, you know.
No, I'll see that.
You should be able to organize and sort within those subcategories, within games, within MMOs, create the newest, and among the newest, give me the top rated. And then you'll get this great list of the newest top rated MMOs for this Android phone. That'd be great. I don't know if it allows you to do that.
Right now, I don't think it does.
So if it let you do something like that, that would be the premium, you know, way to just sort through everything. You could find great stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's the thing that seems like it's very likely going to be solved with Gingerbread, though, since they are completely.
Well, no, that's the thing. I think that's something. My guess would be they're probably going to load in with the cloud-based marketplace and everything else. It's like the marketplace, and that's one of those things that's all tied to the marketplace. So as the marketplace changes and that becomes necessary, it will. I mean, eBay started out with, 20 some odd categories, and now we have over 1,000 as they became sorted and subsorted and blah blah as time went on. So, yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. Apparently, which one do we want to get into next? Do we want to get into the?
Do the FireFox 4 one.
Okay, sure. Why not? You take the lead, Leo, because I haven't actually read it yet. It's like.
It's nothing too complicated, but apparently there was this scam getting passed around Twitter. You click on it, you get viruses, but the thing that's interesting about this article is how they were trying to scam people. Apparently, what the Twitter message said was that you could get the FireFox 4 beta with KeyGen to supposedly unlock it or whatever. What?
Now, is the only people I see? You know what? This is a virus. This is a virus that, if it spread at all, was spread by the Microsoft and Apple mentality that we need software keys. I'm sorry. It's like because Firefox. For those of you who don't know why this is so stupid, Firefox has no software keys, so I'm not sure how you could have a KeyGen for a piece of software that has no keys.
Right.
Did anyone actually fall for this?
He obviously.
Had to. It was being passed around Twitter. These things don't get into your account if you don't do anything, do they? Is there some sort of Twitter exploit that could be passing this around?
I'm sorry. On the category of my head now hurts at user stupidity.
You know what I've seen? This is kind of related, sort of, but you've seen that there's a lot of Facebook, and this can be done with Twitter too. There's a lot of Facebook groups that, because people love to do this, they give you this nice little link thing. It's not really a link, but they give you this nice little link thing, and they tell you to copy it into your address bar. Very smart. What it does is it's encrypted JavaScript that will inject it into your page that will be able to make a post, get your friends, stuff like that. That can all be done through putting stuff in your address bar, and it'll make a post for you. And people do this, and that can be done on Twitter too. And sites need to find a way to try to stop that, but that's hard.
I still say hats off to these crackers because they gave me the best laugh I have seen in a
I wasn't paying attention to Twitter recently. Apparently, I missed a great gag. You know, and I honestly wonder if the people behind that were just, let's see how stupid the average user is. Let's come up with the dumbest thing we possibly can and see how many people fall for it. Oh, I swear.
And I just threw that one in because I thought it was downright hilarious.
No, that's just bad. I'm sorry, that's bad. That's now on to more Google mentalities. Apparently, Google has killed Google Wave, which I must admit, I never used. So I'm not sure I'm qualified to speak ill or bad or whatever of this. I mean, did this ever even get out of beta?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I used it. I got into the beta pretty early. I was really excited about it. I used it. Thing is, there wasn't enough people using it for it to work. It had some cool things. It had some cool features like content-aware spell check and a lot of neat things.
So basically a proper grammar check.
Yeah, but just not enough people used it, and because of that, I didn't use it. I mean, it was hard to get people, and so it had a lot of cool things. And I think it's okay because Google Wave in itself probably not necessarily something that was that great, but a lot of the technologies in it were great, and Google's keeping those and gonna use them in other stuff. So that's good.
Leo, did you have something to say?
It was a very excellent product that was killed by the invite system just because it couldn't interact with anybody and it was a social thing. So when you don't have anybody to interact with, then it completely kills it. But the thing behind Google Wave was they were trying to solve the problem of just having static content with emails by just giving emails kind of a wiki mentality where they're all just one document that everybody gets access to and they can do what they want with it as it goes along. So in that way, if you sent somebody something, for example, and you decided, oh wait, there's a typo in there, you could fix it after you had sent it to them. There was no problem there. And so I very much liked the idea, and one of my friends was also way into it, and that was the only way that he could contact me. But now that Google Wave is dying, we're losing that. It's like Google likes hurting us just after the Nexus 1 does.
Well, you got a year. Nexus 1 just got killed. You got a year before Google Wave finally ends.
Yeah, but if it's dead, and it wasn't really catching on to begin with, it's probably already dying. That's like...
Yeah.
Just Google Wave could have been a huge hit if people had all been allowed to go in right as soon as it was released. If they didn't wait around trying to get invites so that you could actually have somebody to use this thing with.
Yeah, like the few people I know who even remotely messed with it, they were like, I finally got my invite, but I don't know anybody else who has one.
Eventually got to the point where I had hundreds, but nobody that I knew that cared anymore, so nobody used it.
Okay.
There was a point in the internet where everybody wanted a Google Wave invite, but they should have released it short after that point. They waited too long because it was really...
Yeah, like I remember what you're talking about. I think that was like almost 6 months ago now.
That was quite a while ago, but everyone was just like, because it was hard to get in. It was hard to get in, you know, you had to say that you were a programmer and stuff, and then you only had a few invites to give people. So it was cool, and they could have released it right there, and they could have had people pour in, and they could have started by that, but they waited too long, Buzz died down, so it got killed.
That raises an interesting question. Do you think they're going to kill Buzz now? It's like, Google, your services come to die. Oh wait, that's Apple. Google creates services, then kills them. Apple buys services, then kills them. Subtle difference, you know? It's like...
This is probably going to find its way working into whatever Google's upcoming social network thing that's rumored forever has been talking about.
Here's the thing. I tried to use Google Buzz, but nobody uses it.
No, see, here's the thing. We already have on these social networking things, it's like people have, I use Network X, I use Network Y. The thing that finally fixed the IMs was the ability, and you know, it never ceases to amaze me that the first thing all the IMs are trying to do is figure out how to break this. In that, you know, as soon as I could talk to somebody, we need to get rid of these wall gardens. It needs to be no matter what I have, it works like email. I can contact you no matter what system you like. You can contact mine, I can contact yours. Get rid of these wall gardens, yada yada and so forth. They are fighting that kicking and screaming. Anyways. But no, it's like, how many of these do we really need? You know, whether you love or hate this stuff. How many of them? How many gardens do you need if you can't interact with one from another?
Well, Google's just trying a new thing. What I like about Google is they do try a lot of things, and a lot of them fail. A lot of things that Google's tried to fail, and that's great because when they're trying something like email or Google Wave, they're not making something that everyone has. It is different. You know, Gmail was different than every other mail. It was, and it ended up succeeding. And Google Wave was different than other things that were there. And sometimes they fail, and sometimes they don't. You know, and Chrome was hugely different than every other browser. So sometimes they fail, sometimes they don't, but at least they're trying something new.
I honestly think the reputation Google's starting to make for themselves is they're going to fail because they're not going to follow through.
Well,
and that it's like they're gonna come out with the best thing since sliced bread, but they're not gonna follow it through, or they're gonna stumble it. In some ways, some of the things Google's been doing lately remind me a lot of Sega. It's like if anybody who okay,
Please don't say that. I don't want to.
so think about it. What did Sega do? They made the best thing since sliced bread, and then they futzed it up. They didn't follow through. They didn't get it done. And then when it didn't take off like they wanted it to because they didn't put all their resources into it, then they dropped it. That's what Google's starting to do with more and more stuff. It's like.
I'm going to disagree with you. I think that Google's smart by killing Wave. I don't know how many people are going to disagree with me. Probably a lot, but I don't think even if they poured a bunch of resources in it, that it would have took off. I think that they would have that it would have failed.
Oh, I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you on Wave. I'm just this is the second thing Google's killed that I can see some people being a little inya about in less than. Anyways.
I mean, the thing I don't agree on, I think that no matter what Google did with Buzz, even though they haven't killed it yet, that it would fail. Same thing with Wave. They pretty much could have done anything, it would have failed. Maybe it's because the world wasn't ready for it yet. Whatever it was, I think that my honest opinion was that they could practically done anything, it would have failed. Nexus 1 is something that I don't agree with. I agree. I think that if they changed just a few things, marketed it differently, had it in stores, it would have absolutely done great as a phone. And they could do it again with a Nexus 2 and do it differently, and it would do great. That is one of the things that I agree that they shouldn't have killed. But other than that, other than the Nexus 1, I think, even though that's a big thing, I think that Google's been rather smart with what they're killing.
Yeah. Well, it's based on what y'all are saying about Wave. I'm almost thinking rather than try and follow it through, it might have been better to maybe, and they may still do this, is take that technology and license it off to somebody else who has the following that would use it. So it'd have
Make this another open source project. They don't need to license it off to